Right there. There we go. She's finally fixed. I went in here, took the throttle body out, cleaned it up real good, and then reinstalled. Took her out for a spin up and down these roads here. Didn't get past 25 miles an hour because the roads are pretty bumpy and I don't have a fancy lift, but it was driving okay, so we decided to take it out on the road, and we hit the highway. And once we hit the highway, once we got to about 30, the yellow wrench kicked on, and then the engine went into limp mode. Luckily, we weren't too far from the entrance of the camp here, so I was able to just back it out. And we backed back into the camp. And then I went back under here and checked the clips and the wiring, and everything seemed okay. And then started back up, cleared the codes. It threw a P2104 and a P2112. And I cleared the codes after I installed the clips, and the codes didn't show up. And then took her for a spin around here again, and she was fine. Got her back on the highway, and once we got to 30, it did it again. And then this time, limp mode was even worse because we couldn't get back into our campsite without the wrench being thrown and the engine going into limp, and then I'd have to turn it off, restart, and then drive 50 feet and so on until we got back to the camp. Ordered a new throttle body, and we waited a couple of days for that, and when it came, there was no way for me to drive this to get back down to town to pick it up. So we had a friend of ours, a neighbor that was down the way here, he took us down, got the piece, came back up here, installed, and everything was according to plan. Everything was plugged up nicely, and then I went to restart and it wouldn't even crank over. Like, it was starting, but then puffs of smoke comes out the back, and yeah, it didn't start. So then I gave it a rest. I thought maybe I had to reset the computer, and I gave it the night to sit. And the next morning we restarted, didn't start again. So I was having issues with how are we going to get this rig down to a shop, because I didn't know what was going on. I thought I did everything to plan, and so I started looking at my roadside assistance and looking into what shops locally that I could get it towed to, and luckily there was a mobile mechanic that could come up here, and so I called them on Friday and said, can you guys can I make an appointment? And they said the next appointment would be Tuesday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 4 days without a rig, 3 days worth of water, and 0 gas for my generator, and the generator was on empty. So we had our friend take us back to town so we can refill on provisions while we wait for the mobile mechanic to come. Saturday rolls around, and I'm just thinking about this thing and how it's not working, and you know how van life sucks ass, because once your van is down your home is stuck. And it's not bad being stuck when you're at your camp, but if we were stuck on the side of the road somewhere, plus provisions running out quickly, starting to get that anxious feeling. So Sunday comes around and I decide, you know what, I got till Tuesday, and I'm gonna muck around in here. So I took everything apart and then got to the throttle body and noticed that the throttle body gasket was hanging under the throttle body. So I guess it was user error, and I took the throttle body off after searching for the 8mm socket that I needed, and it was the only thing missing in the toolbox. I searched for an hour for that thing. So I was able to get the throttle body back off. Noticed that only one of the bolts was holding the throttle body in, so the whole thing was hanging out, and I was wondering why when I was reinstalling it, it was loose, like it wouldn't tighten up. But I, put everything together and then try to crank her up, and that thing didn't go, and that was because that gasket was off. So I put everything back together the right way, triple checked everything, and then came around and it started right up. So my bad. I think we would have saved probably $1,500 for having a guy come up here to look at everything and go, amateur hour, you screwed it all up. And that would have been an expensive mistake. So when you're doing your stuff, make sure that you double check, triple check everything, and we'll save you a lot of money. So the part I got on Amazon was only about $70, the new throttle body, because the old throttle body that I had on there, after I cleaned it, didn't work right. Throw in the yellow wrench. So that's why I got the new one. And we took her for a test drive yesterday, and coming up the mountain, what a difference. I was barely touching the gas and she was going, and she was in the 55 to 60 mile an hour range, where before I was gassing her and I was getting 40 miles. So definitely the throttle body being replaced helped with the lower power issues. So if you're having low power issues, sluggishness, even in town, when I would turn the corner and I'd try to pick up speed, it'd take me, 10 seconds to get up to 20, 30. Like, it was just slow. And around here, people are driving fast and the patience on them is thin. So anyways, that's done. Now I'm looking for another thing to break so I can stress out and fix. I'm thinking about a new fuel pump, but I'm not going to do that. So anyways, watch my other videos, like, subscribe, and do the things.